I tell you what, Orange fans, I kind of hoped this would be a great birthday present for me at last Saturday. Of course, I don't feel a year older, but I do feel kind of older after watching what happened with Syracuse. I mean, there was a lot of inconsistency on the offensive side of the ball, but they still actually had a chance to win the game. Allen looked good at times, but he looked like an inexperienced quarterback at times. One who had sat behind Sam Bradford and Landry Jones for all those years. But the Orange still almost pulled it out. The defense actually did a pretty decent job. And of course, Penn State was kind of in the same boat starting a new quarterback themselves, especially Mr. and Berg. And of course, he looked inexperienced also. It was a turnover filled game, but of course, the penalties were on the Syracuse side too, 8 of them. But still, we could have had a chance to win it, but Allen showed his inexperience there on that final drive. But whatever, a sour start to the season. A sour 23-17 loss to those Nittany Lions in MetLife Stadium, or as I like to call it, the New Meadowlands. This is the second consecutive year we've had a home game at MetLife Stadium, and the second consecutive year we've lost. Do you think that Darryl Gross might take an idea and not have any home games at MetLife Stadium? But I digress. It was his idea. He's the one that should, get the pie in the face, if you know what I mean. And if it were me, I'd make a nice cream pie. Hey, Darryl, I'm going to hit you on the count of 3. Like this. 1, 2, 3. And we'd all be satisfied. Well, we got no time to rest. We go from one Big Ten team to another Big Ten team. We go out to Evanston, Illinois, suburban Chicago, to the home stadium that was the model for Archibald Stadium in the 2008 movie about Ernie Davis, The Express, Ryan Field, to take on those Wildcats in Northwestern, who are ranked, and the thing is, their defense looks vulnerable to the pass. Heck, they gave up over 400 yards through the air to the team they beat. Plus also their quarterback doesn't expect maybe to be ready, or maybe he could be ready. Kane Coulter, who's a pretty darn good quarterback, but hopefully he isn't going to be the Kane of our existence. But we got to get in the win column, Orange. Let's hope we can beat those Wildcats, maybe go 1-1 against the Big Ten. 'Cause you know what? I got a surprise for all you fans. I'm going to be in the audience when they play Wagner and when they play Tulane. Details to come in coming weeks. But let's get in the win column, Orange. Now let's go to the other team I really follow all the time. It's going to be the first game of the season coming up this Sunday for the Buffalo Bills. The thing is, we've got 2 rookie quarterbacks on the roster. Matt Leinart was asked to step into an impossible situation, and of course, they cut him loose because of his putrid performance against Detroit. Thaddeus Lewis came from Cleveland in a trade. He was released, but he's on the practice squad. So it looks as though we got 2 rookies at quarterback to start the season, Toole and Manuel. And Toole's asked to maybe be the starter for Doug Marrone and the Bills. That's asking a baby to take on an adult, 'cause it's Tom Brady and the New England Patriots who the Bills play in the first game of the season. And you know what? Everybody's saying, why shouldn't the Bills raise the white flag now? Hey, it's why they play the game. More weird things have happened, and you don't know what could happen. Brady lost a lot of his top receivers from the past year, including that Yutz who's wasting away in jail. And of course, speaking of the Patriots, Tim Tebow didn't make it onto the roster. And of course, there's some Bills fans who say, maybe Tebow ought to come to the Bills. Thing is, I don't know. Tebow is a veteran presence, but you see, he doesn't have the throwing mechanics down. He's got to have some work, like with an adjustable wrench. Let's see. Left arm. No, that's not going to do it. And I know Tebow said he wanted to continue his career. Thing is, this might have been his last chance. Truth is, I kind of liked him, Tebow. He's a good person. Truth is, as an NFL player, he couldn't just quite make it. If he wants to continue his football career, he ought to go north of the border. Of course, maybe he could be like Doug Flutie, who in his first time in the NFL, first few years didn't look so good. Then he went north of the border and became a legend. Then he came back to the Buffalo Bills, and he turned the Buffalo Bills into a contender during his years. Of course, I still have a thing of Flutie Flakes wrapped in plastic in my closet. But of course, I'm not going to eat them now. They're probably going to be staler than stale, even if they're in a plastic bag. Oh well. I'm looking forward to the season. This is a season of change for the Bills. New coach, new attitude. Let's hope Buffalo can finally break out of their jinx. But the truth is, I'm being realistic. May take a year or so. But let's hope for a good showing this Sunday. And I want to welcome back all the students back to school this week. Especially for both Mynderse and Waterloo. And this is an uncertain time for both the Blue Devils and the Indians. Because I think it's next week that they have the straw vote for a possible merger of both Mynderse and Waterloo. Thing is, 8 years ago they took the straw vote and it overwhelmingly was voted down. But of course, you take a look at some of the facts. If the two districts would merge, it's going to save the taxpayers a lot of money. Plus, I mean, both school districts are in a lot of debt. Thing is, financial-wise, this makes a lot of sense. But I don't know about student-wise. There still is a lot of animosity between Seneca Falls students and Waterloo students. You know, there's going to be fights if they merge. You know, the personalities aren't just going to mesh right away. And of course, what's going to become of the buildings? Of course, they say the building that is now Mynderse Academy High School and Middle School will be the middle school for the combined district. And the high school will be where Waterloo High School and Middle School is now. I wonder how that's going to work. Of course, I digress. But the thing is, I'm going to just add, why can't the two districts meet on the football field like in years past? Who has Mynderse got for a non-conference opponent? University Prep. A bunch of yutzes and nobodies out of Rochester. Of course, I digress. I'm not the one who makes the schedule for Mynderse nor Waterloo, but I would like to see Mynderse and Waterloo clash on the gridiron again. But of course, good luck to the Blue Devils this Friday night as the Lions come to the new, and I mean new, Brock Field. Heck, that field is so impressive the Cornell football team was up here practicing this past weekend. Kudos to Coach Miller for bringing the Big Red up here, even if they were practicing at the same time that the Orange was playing. Good luck, Mynderse. And also to Waterloo. I thank you students for watching my show, but still, if we ever meet on the gridiron, you know who I'm for. And also, I'd like to quickly point out what I want to say about this whole situation with Syria. Thing is, it looks as though this guy did use chemical weapons against his own people. You know what? Thing is, Assad may have been an educated man, he may be a debonair man, but the truth is, you do that to your own people, you're in another league, a league of several madmen from several generations ago, who I'm not going to go into because they were the ones who helped start World War II. Thing is, Obama's hemming and hawing about a preemptive strike. If you're going to hem and haw, go see Buck Owens and Roy Clark. Don't fool around with it. If you're going to launch missiles to strike strategic targets against Syria, do it. Not this hemming and hawing. Of course, you need congressional approval. The longer you wait, the less we're going to seem about with the world. If we're going to act on it, act on it. That's all I can say. You want to know why? 'Cause that's what I sawed. And last but not least, I want to say rest in peace to a pretty good boxer in his time who just passed. Tommy the Duke Morrison passed 2 days ago at the age of 44. I first saw him in Rocky V, where he took on Sylvester Stallone in that street fight that was the climax to Rocky V. And he had a pretty decent pro career, too. Of course, it was derailed by the admission that he had the AIDS virus. Of course, that's what you get for fooling around. But still, you had a pretty good punch and you had a pretty good career there, Morrison. May you rest in peace. And that is my show for this week. I'm Ken Haas, and let's hope the Orange get into the win column this Saturday.